as we wait for people to come into the room, or as I wait. Hmm. I don't even know if this is the time of day that most of y'all are online, but you got to get it how you live it. It's one of my days off, and this is going to be me tackling two birds with one stone. But while we wait for people to come on in the room, and I guess honestly, this is me speaking to the people who are going to watch the playback. Hopefully, there are people who watch the playback. All right, I'm still live. All right, what's this? Let's do some music while we're waiting. And this may be too low. There's been a lot going on these past few weeks. It's been a while since I sat in front of you guys and spoke to you. Um, had a Valentine's Day that went by. How was y'all Valentine's Day? Hopefully, it was a good day for you if you were in a relationship. You know, I can not. I'm good at seeing both sides of an issue, right? So while I know Valentine's Day is one of those corporate holidays, something that they infuse into the American psyche to get us to spend money. But it also is a good day to show your appreciation for your loved one. This year, in lieu of going out to a dinner, I decided to do something a little bit more personal, and I cooked at home. I prepared a meal for my fiance and I, and she enjoyed it. It was delicious. So what did I make? I wanted to do a salad with like I put some pears, some green apples in it, some candy pecans, there's some cranberries in there, but in a nice balsamic vinaigrette. Then I had some cedar plank salmon. Then I made a Alfredo with some shrimp in it. So all that was, pretty good. Turned out well. It's good to show your appreciation to your loved one. Let them know, that their efforts don't go unnoticed. Love is a wonderful thing, so it should be celebrated. What else has been going on? I really think we're dying of entertainment. At the Super Bowl halftime show, it was like a big controversy, I guess, because people were upset with how Kendrick did the Super Bowl halftime show. Even the hip hop fans were like, well, nah, we just wanted to be entertained. Why don't you play more of your hits? But one thing I admire the most about Kendrick is that he sticks to, what's going on? Time travel. Thank you for tuning in. He sticks to what his beliefs are. So in lieu of just giving y'all a big spectacle and it's up there shucking and driving and tap dance for you, Kendrick's like, well, I'm going to entertain you, but I'm going to give you this message at the same time. I admire that because he's been like that throughout his entire career. It's not just going to be him, just up there for your pure entertainment. A lot of people can't do that. But when you have a message that you want to get across, when you have a lesson that you feel compelled to teach, that's what happens. You get some good art. The thing that's been catching my attention has been watching everything that's been going on with Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency, that's headed by Elon Musk. Now, again, with this ability of mine to see both sides of the coin, I understand that they are exposing government corruption, but I also know they're lining their pockets at the same time. Like Elon's going to come out of this having more money. Trump's probably going to come out of this having more money, but we also need to know as the American people, where's all our money going? What are y'all doing with our tax dollars? And if you go and you look at like the breakdown of what they're spending that money on, it's crazy. Billions of dollars being spent on stuff that's nonsense. Somebody asked a question: what country taxes their citizens and sends that money to us? I don't think there's any other country that does that. We're the only ones where the American people, we get taxed, and they use that money to send it off to other places in the world to, line their pockets. But it's a scam. I first learned about USAID, United States Agency for International Development, in the book Confessions of an Economic Hitman by John Perkins. And what you realize is they were using USAID as a means of ensnaring ensnaring these countries into crippling debt, put them in debt, and now they owe you favors. But what's wild is that the people who are handing out all this money, they're just sending it to their friends. It's like when we were at war in Iraq and Dick Cheney was sitting on the board of Halliburton. And so we went, bombed Iraq to hell, and then we went and built it back up. And it was Halliburton that was doing a lot of that building. So this money that's come from taxpayers, it gets siphoned off to certain American companies that are friends with the people who make these decisions. So it's a racket. So if you were to go through and look at what they're spending that money on, that USAID, it's ridiculous. Does it help some people around the world? I'm sure it does. But are more people using it in the incorrect manner? I think so as well. So I want to use this as a two birds, one stone type of thing so that I can, it's not even logged in under myself on YouTube. Let's see. Switch account. All right. So when you're gonna be watching this on the playback, somebody commented on my YouTube channel. They're asking me where was the rest of the book Satan, an Autobiography. So I do know I need to finish reading that. And the key thing to this book, it says, "Do you know me? I am the adversary, and this is my story. I am that little voice within you that makes you doubt, including doubting my existence. I am depression, anger, jealousy, worry, fear, false pride, and selfish behavior. I thrive on neediness and disappointment, negativity and cynicism. But here's a secret I'm revealing for the very first time. No matter how low I have caused you to go, you have the power to turn it around." And again, this is from Satan, an Autobiography. Now, most of this book is on my YouTube channel if you want to go back and listen to it. I think I need like 2 more chapters to put up to finish it. Let me see if I can find my videos so I can know for sure. But Satan is that voice that's inside your head that causes you to doubt yourself. They said the greatest trick Satan ever played was convincing the world that he didn't exist. But I think it goes further than that, where like the greatest trick Satan ever played was convincing you that he's God. So Bobby Hemming has a video where he asks the question, well, what if the God that you're praying to is Satan, or the adversary, or the bad guy? And I see how those two things kind of contradict each other, because again, Satan is like your lower nature self, your ego, that voice of doubt that wants you to do the wrong thing, so you keep getting negative results. But if you understand the concepts of Gnosticism and the fact that this place that we find ourselves in right now was made by a false god, the demiurge, you can say that that demiurge is the Satan. And he made this place for all of us to exist in, for him to feed off of our emotions. And the lower emotions are the ones that taste the best to him. He gets the most nourishment out of that. So that greed, hatred, anger, lustfulness, these are the emotions that he wants to promote more of. So the title of this, Does Satan Rule the World? Kind of seems like it does. And look at the society that we live in right now in America. It seems like everything that we see is being promoted to bring out those lower nature things. You know how many men get told to go out and have sex with as many women as you can, but you know what kind of trouble that brings? Like you got these soul connections, you're increasing your chances of getting STDs, uh, bringing babies into the world with women you don't even like, creating broken homes because you don't want to be with those women. And the same thing goes for women. Like y'all go out there and have your sexual liberation, your sexual freedom, but you're left dealing with some consequences that you don't want to deal with. Raising a child by yourself is not the move. No matter what they try to tell you, how much they try to glorify it, raising a child by yourself is difficult. Raising a child with two people is difficult in this world. But they'll have you think otherwise. One of the most successful CIA operations, in my opinion, has to be the feminist movement. Like Margaret Sanger was a CIA asset. And the goal was to divide men and women. But this all goes back into creating an environment that's going to have the most stress. By having a man and a woman divided, chaos ensues. So let's see. So I'm going to let y'all. All right, so the last chapter I got to, wow, this is way back in September. So whoever was on my channel and they asked, yo, is this the last chapter? Thank you for that, because you reminded me that I need to finish this. One of the things that I'm constantly working on is finishing the things that I start. So let's see, it was chapter 21, the vault. Oh, maybe that was the last chapter. Hold on. No. All right, so we got chapter 22, happy endings. Oh, and then chapter 23, my big announcement. All right, so I'm going to put the last two chapters up together because they're short. All right. So, in this world where content is king, the idea of putting yourself out there, like getting online and speaking to people, it can be a little scary. But if you have something to say, just start doing it. And I'm talking to myself as well as to you guys. So let's see. I record most of the time in GarageBand. So let me open up a new audio recording. Save this. Damn. Excuse me. Voice, tempo, Yeti microphone, okay, tempo. Yeah, y'all been seeing all these planes just falling out the sky? Or they make it to the landing and something happens? Is that on purpose? Who knows? Are they playing a game to try to get us afraid of flying? You know, I used to live in Hawaii, and we used to invite family members out to come and visit us. But the only people that came to visit us were my grandparents, because I guess maybe the trip was expensive. And then you had other people in the family who were like, well, I ain't getting on no plane. But I was forced to fly as a child. You know, I was the type of kid, and I guess as an adult now, I think about the things that can happen. So I used to be a kid getting on the plane and thinking to myself, dang, I hope the plane doesn't crash. And you know, that can worry you. But another thing that I realized is that, well, if it does crash, it ain't gonna hurt for long. and I can't do anything about it, so why worry? But all right, so this is going to be me letting y'all see the process of how I record these audiobooks and give my takes on them. So again, this is Satan, an Autobiography by Yehuda Berg, and this is going to be chapter 22, Happy Endings. So I have all of this set up. GarageBand is open, narration vocal. All right, let's begin. Satan, an Autobiography, chapter 22, Happy Endings. The greatest stories are those with happy endings. No one really likes an unhappy or scary ending. God doesn't. Even I don't. And I am sure you don't either, especially when the story is the story of your own life. Therefore, you'll be glad to know that the greatest story ever told, the gem of the book you're reading right now, arrives at a happy cornball ending too. Formulaic, yes, but this is God's formula. I can't rewrite it. No doom and gloom, no monsters from outer space, fireballs, or flesh-eating viruses. Sure, that stuff makes for great movies, and I have enjoyed immensely perpetuating those apocalyptic tales. But all fun aside, there is a deeper reason behind why I projected those images into your head. It was so that you could reject the doom and gloom, rise above it, and reach for happiness instead. Over the centuries, you suffered, but you were only spiraling towards disaster because you lacked the knowledge that I've revealed in this book. But now you know everything. No more excuses. Forever starts now. The world has blamed Satan for all the evil in the world for centuries. No more. It's over. Put away the gun. Dismantle the dirty bomb and get out from underneath the covers. Your world is waiting for you to create it. Oh, before I go, there's one last thing. Chapter 23, my big announcement. A true autobiography is written when a person's life and career is at an end. Unlike celebrities who write their memoirs in their 30s or 40s, how arrogant and pretentious, right? As you know, I've been at this game now for more than 5,000 years. I'm exhausted. Plus, I know that I'm destined to lose in the end. So why drag this genocide, pain, and suffering on any longer? Let's cut to the chase, shall we? Hold on to your hats, kids. I'm retiring. It all makes sense now, doesn't it? The potentially damaging revelations, the candor. Yes, I'm hanging up my hat. I'm ready for my farewell party and my pension plan. After all, I did my job. I did it well. Almost too well. And now I'm done. Finito. Adios. So long, suckers. It's been real. I'm not going to drop a metaphor you... shit. That happens when you're reading. Like, I'll fuck up. So I gotta pause it, back up, and go back to where I messed up at. Be real. I am not going... Okay, so I'm going to start at I am not going. And I forgot to turn off the reverb in the master echo. All right. Let's start here. I am not going to drop a meteor on you as I walk out, or coax you into firing a nuclear weapon, or scare the bejesus out of you. Now that I've revealed the rules of the game and my true purpose, all that can come to an end. Everyone will simply read my book and spread the good word with exponential speed, and you will choose on your own to create and enter a new miraculous and loving world, seamlessly, effortlessly, and ridiculously joyful. Epilogue. A final confession. Psst, come a little closer. I've got a secret for you. You want to know how I got my job? And this is a quote. Yes, I'm just a soul whose intentions are good. Oh Lord, please don't let me be misunderstood. The Animals. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. I am not a soul. I am an angel, and despite appearances, my intentions have always been good. They still are. So, what's a nice angel like me doing in a God-forsaken place like this? I ate from the apple first. Yet before Adam and Eve took their bite, I took mine. That's why God gave me the job of helping you overcome your shame after Adam and Eve went down that same road. For one thing, I knew their shame all too well. For another, by helping you, I was helping myself. Funny how those universal laws work for everyone, even me. And now, with a little help from you, I can enjoy the world as it was always intended to be. Thanks for hearing me out and enjoy. All right, so that was a very quick chapter. And usually at the end of these, I like to give my thoughts on it. So let me do that now. Okay, that officially brings us to the end of the book, Satan, an Autobiography. I'm glad that I came across this, and I'm glad that I came across this early in my spiritual journey. One of the things that I would do to get myself out of the depression that I was in at the time, I would go to the bookstore and just look for whatever stuck out to me. And sitting on the bookshelf in, I guess, the mysticism area was this book, Satan, an Autobiography. And you have Satan in bright red letters amidst a black and white picture of some flames. Now, most people, they'll see something about Satan and they'll be afraid. They don't want to have anything to do with it. But for me, it kind of like piqued my curiosity. Well, what's this about? And I'm glad I picked it up. Because now that I know, and that you know as well from listening to these chapters, that Satan is only your ego and is only there as a tool for you to get better. Without challenges in life, there is nothing to push you forward into the best version of yourself. So that's why God has this set up. This entire thing is to get you to remember who you are and to move into what your higher purpose may be. And that's going to be different for everyone. That's the challenge of life, finding out what your higher purpose is. And I guess one of the ways that you can do that is to listen to that doubting voice in your head and tell it, no, you're wrong. And again, one of the questions that people ask, well, how do I know if it's my higher self speaking to me or if it's my ego? Is it Satan? And the best answer that I got was from Phil Valentine. He said, your higher self, your true self, speaks to you in a whisper. Your ego yells at you. It's always a loud voice in your head. So the task is to be able to discern, well, is this my ego or is this my higher self? And when we start listening to our higher selves more, you'll be amazed at what you can accomplish. Thank you guys for coming on this journey with me. If you know anyone that could use this information, share these audio recordings with them. Tell them what you thought from it. Let me know in the comments what you've learned along this journey of realizing who Satan is. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and share. And I'll see y'all in the next episode of Ron's Library and Ideas. Peace. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of Satan, an Autobiography. So, what I'll do next, I usually like to add some type of background music to this, like a piano. instrument. Let's go piano. Nope. Nope. It's something that I put in my favorites that I like to use. Oh, Dreamtime. Well, this thing got a little swing on it this time. I don't know why it's doing that. That's interesting. Doom, 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 doom. Yeah, that's interesting. It's never done that before. Well, I'm just going to use this anyway. All right. So that's the name of the game, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So GarageBand is just acting weird right now. There we go. On a personal note, I just finished a class on placemaking. Now, you may not have ever heard that term before, because I hadn't heard that term before I started taking this class. But if I had to sum it up, placemaking is this idea of having events that bring people together in some kind of capacity. I think of it as like urban design, but for people. There's a lot that goes on in our planet that has stopped us from interacting with one another how we usually do. This urban sprawl. People are, we have the internet, we have social media. It seems like we're connected digitally more than ever, but physically being connected, that seems to have been something that's kind of gone awry. So the idea of placemaking is to bring people back together, get us socializing, and it's done through a number of different ways. Um, Taking these unused spaces and changing them into something else. Just adding some outdoor seating to a neighborhood restaurant so people can actually sit out, enjoy the weather, talk to each other, and socialize. Uh, Planning an event where people can come out and enjoy music together. Um, just that human interaction that it's almost interesting that we took it for granted, but when COVID came along and people couldn't go outside and interact, that's when people started realizing, like, dang, something's wrong. I actually do need to be around other people. They talk about people in prison when they put them in solitary confinement. They go crazy after a while because they don't have anyone to speak to. As humans, we need that interaction with one another. And placemaking is the idea of trying to make that happen authentically. Like, what does your city need? What do the people want? And designing events around that. Now, this was like a 6 week class. Me and my fiance took it together. That's actually our certificate of completion for doing placemaking. And they gave us this book at the end, How to Turn a Place Around, a placemaking handbook. Let's see, How to Turn a Place Around is the common sense handbook for everyone, from community residents to mayors, on how to understand and improve the public spaces in their communities. So yeah, I haven't read this yet, just got it last night, but I feel like it's going to be it's going to be a good read. Let's see what it starts off at the front. And this class was actually pretty cool because they were bringing people from around the country, people from around the world to come and speak to us and teach us these things. Um, Okay, Fred Kent. He spoke to us yesterday. He was one of the founders of this project for public spaces. All right, part one: Why places matter. Cities and towns throughout the world have come to look more like each other. Stores, buildings, and streets feel increasingly homogeneous as traffic dominates our lives, even in rural communities. Walking and the enjoyable street life it fosters has become a lost art. So you know what, that is something that towns used to have like their own distinct feel. Like you go to, let's say, Savannah, Georgia, for instance. There's things about Savannah that you're not going to be able to find in other places, especially back in the day when it was less of this globalization. Any place you go to in America now, I can bet all the things that you're going to find that reminds you of home. You got Target, you got Walmart, you got Best Buys, you got McDonald's all over the place. What else? You have a mall that's going to have like a Dillard's or a Macy's, H&M, all these like national, worldwide stores that you see. It kind of takes away from a town's personality. Now, what makes cities and towns unique is going to places and you can only find this here. Local owned restaurants are like that. Well, no, this restaurant is only here in Jacksonville. You're not going to find this in other places. But that's like one of those ideas of capitalism. Like once I have one here, well, I have to expand and make more of them so I can continue making more money and selling more. And I feel like that constant need to expand uh, is less of a symptom of capitalism and more a result of trying to outpace what the inflation rate is. So let's say inflation is at, I don't know, 3.2%, but the money that you put in your bank, it only has a APR, annual percentage yield, or whatever, of 1 point something percent. So every year that you keep your money in the bank and you're not doing anything with it, well, it's becoming less valuable. So companies know that. They're smart enough to realize that. So what they do is, well, we have to sell more. We have to raise prices, give you less, raise prices so we can keep our profit margins the same. But people are starting to rally against that. They're realizing, man, something is wrong with the way that we're living. I'm not feeling how I want to feel. I don't feel fulfilled. I'm not finding the enjoyment that I want in life. And part of that is being so disconnected. But anyway, let me go and put this into CapCut. Now let's see, it has been a while since I've done this. So I'm gonna save this first. Anyway, to anybody tuning in, you guys have any questions? You can type them in the chat. And if you're watching this on the playback, I'll come back and respond to your comments. This was chapters what that I just got done reading. Oh, chapters 22 and chapter 23. All right. Okay. Save. Now the next thing that I have to do. Well, actually, let me make sure this sounds right before I save it. Satan, an autobiography. Chapter 22. Happy endings. The greatest stories are those with happy endings. No one really likes an unhappy or scary ending. God doesn't. Even. All right, so that's that. Let me save these levels. Now I'm going to share this to my music so I can pull it up on CapCut. Artist. Ron Simmons. All right. Guess I don't have any questions right now. Here's something else I just saw that's interesting. I think Elon Musk just had like his 13th child. Uh, that's, I guess it's not considered to be a deadbeat dad if you can afford the children that you have.
Satan, an autobiography.
But it's like what's his name? Nick Cannon. He has all these children spread out in all these different households. Well, fathers, one of the father's duty is also to protect his children. How can you protect your children when they're all spread out all over the place? Your children need your presence, they need your energy. And it's hard to do that when they're all in different states, spread all over the world, living in different households. But again, broken homes, broken families, that's what the demiurge wants. Now, the demiurge is a Gnostic concept. As anything that's going to bring struggle and strife, that's going to make life more difficult, well, that's what he wants to have. And our goal, our job is to not be, not get, not get played by the system, because we are gods. Bobby Hemming always used to say, quoting from the Bible, does it not say that ye are gods and the law cannot be undone? A child of God, does that not make you like God? Now, the Christians will tell you that's blasphemous. Other religions may be a little bit more open minded and realize, well, if we're all down here co creating together, so yes, that does make us gods. Everything that we see exists inside the mind of God. This is God's dream. All right, let me go create new project. All right, so I'm gonna import this from music. And again, I thank y'all for tuning in. Those of you who watch this on the playback, make sure you go and listen to these audiobooks that I put up on my channel. I've completed Satan, an autobiography, and I've completed Makes Me Want to Holler by Nathan McCall. Now, if you never read that, as a black man or black woman, I highly recommend you go and listen to that on my channel. One of the things that was really amazing to me is a lot of the things that he was going through, same thing that we're going through right now. Not much has changed. And it's this idea of existing as a black man in a world that has been warped by white supremacy, that has done its best to lessen you, to keep you in a docile, boy like mentality, not really running your own world. And how do you overcome that? Oh, wow, that's only 8 minutes. Yeah, that's a quick listen. All right, so I also need to import some images. Let's see if I can find it. It's been a while recently. No, it's not recent. Maybe it's in my downloads. Should definitely be in 2024. Hmm. Right now, I'm looking for what's going to be the cover art, or what you're going to see while you're listening to this. So let me see if I can just search it. Let's ATA. There we go. I'll import that. All right, so let's do the audio, and then we'll do this on top of it. It was when they tried to ban TikTok and they got rid of CapCut, or they tried to get rid of CapCut at the same time, that sucked. And I know the Adobe people are scrambling because of CapCut and Canva. That's the competition that comes with, you know, making things more efficient. So let's see what this sounds like. Let me go back to the beginning. I've been going live more recently than putting out edited videos.
Satan, an autobiography.
All right, so that sounds good. Don't need a transcript, but I do want to add captions. English. All right, auto highlight keywords. Oh, I'm not signed into my pro account. I wonder if I can sign into the pro account. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and hanging out with me as I'm doing this. The next step after you generate these captions, you have to go through and actually read what the captions say, because it's not always right. And you don't want to have words up there having people think you sounding crazy, or the words don't match what you're actually saying. Anyway, technology is wonderful. And you know, the goal with all of this content creation, just working on the things that interest me, is turning that into a career that's going to sustain me and my family so we can thrive, because working for these corporations really ain't it, man. You can tell they don't really care about you. You're just you're a cog in the machine to make the owners rich. And you know, I'm not about that life. It's okay for right now because, you know, it's part of the journey. Everybody, you ever notice how in the movies, we like looking at like the training montages? You like to see what the hero was going through to get himself ready for like the big match. No, this is my training montage. Getting up and going to work while also working on all these other things, so I can stop getting up and having to go to work for someone else. And, you know, I guess that works out for some people if they actually find themselves at a company that cares about them and their well-being. That's going to give them the amount of money that they need to live the life that they want to live. My current employment isn't really doing that. It's not doing that. They say job is an acronym, JOB, just over broke. Wow, this is taking longer than what I expected. So, keep you guys interested. All right, so this is the forward. And this is about this is again coming, how to turn the place around. Project for Public Spaces is the only organization of its kind and influence. And over the years, it has provided some of the most meaningful tools we have in our toolkit for transforming the places we care about. This updated and expanded edition of How to Turn the Place Around gives us a closer look at just how far the placemaking movement has come ever since the book's original publication in 2000. Now, so 25 years ago, they came out with this book first. Whether we engage places through the arts, neighborhood development, or environmental stewardship, acts of placemaking bring our aspirations into focus. They drive vibrancy. They enable us to create an emotional bond with our community. When we're able to connect to a city or a neighborhood through an individual or shared experience of its public spaces, there's a magnetic pull. You want to stay committed. You want to invest. You want to build a future. These are the preconditions for civic transformation. Hmm. So again, placemaking. All right, is done. All right. So let's see what these captions look like. So what's going on? Why can't I zoom this in anymore?
Satan, an autobiography.
All right, so let me change the font to something that's just a little easier to read. Preset styles. This will probably look best like this. Apply to all.
Satan, an autobiography. Chapter 22, Happy Endings.
It's looking good so far.
The greatest stories are those with happy endings. No one really likes an unhappy or scary ending. God doesn't. Even I don't. And I am sure you don't either.
All right, so I am going to change the font because I don't like this. And maybe even increase the font size. There we go. System. American Typewriter. All right. Okay. Well, you guys, I think I'm going to end this now. I've been on for like 47 minutes. Thank you all for tuning in. If you learned something from this, share it with somebody. If there's anything you want me to speak about in the future, leave a comment and I'll see what I can do. Thank you guys for tuning in. This has been another live edition of Ron's Librarian Ideas. Peace. Oh, there you go.